Hey, Leroy, turn it on. Okay, Uncle Shady.
You're listening to BWWR, the Banger Worldwide Radio Network.
The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Scheduled programming to bring you a show on the edge, broadcasting worldwide and out to the greater universe. You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings, and alert the media. The John Lebang Show is back on the air. Thank you, my friends, for joining me for another 60 minutes of sonic vibrations. Before we get into anything entertaining, I'd just like to say, man, we're lucky to be here. Because DTE lost power for us again. The wind blew too hard or something went wrong. They don't have an answer, but the power went out once again. I mean, I don't even understand what the heck is going on with DTE. It's been like 6 times this year alone that our little neighborhood, I know we're not that important, but our little neighborhood has lost power. When the big ice storm came in, we lost power for like 4.5 days. People were getting it back way before us. Yesterday we got rain, like we've been getting constantly for weeks now. And the rain stops, no wind is blowing, nothing, and then, boom, power's out. They claim it was lightning, but there was no lightning going on at all at the time. Took them like 4 hours to get the power back on, which was incredible. I mean, what is wrong with DTE and their infrastructure in my neighborhood? You call them, and you either get the automated response, where's the outage, and you got to push all the buttons because they don't want to talk to you. Because they know their infrastructure sucks. And they don't want to have somebody, they don't want to pay somebody to sit there and take the abuse of people, because if we could get through, we would be going ballistic on these people. It's ridiculous. 6 times this year we've been out of power. For a total of probably 10 or 12 days. Because no, maybe not that long. Maybe a total of, 7 days. I mean, one was 4.5. Then we've had power outages for like 4 hours and then 6 hours. The one time it was out, then it was on, then it was out, then it was on. Like if they're going to be doing something in your neighborhood, like changing lines or something, because they have to update their infrastructure, which I doubt they do, often anyways, then they could give us a courtesy call. I mean, they know all the phone numbers in the area. You have to give them your phone number to have an account. So send us a text. Hey, between this hour and that hour, you might want to unplug your crap so you don't blow up a computer or ruin your fridge, or be prepared because the power is going to be out for a little while because we got to do something. Of course, when the power comes back on, they don't tell you when that happens either. Well, they did this morning. After the power's been on for 7 or 8 hours, I finally get the call. Hey, your power's back on. No crap. The power's back on. Thank you very much for telling me. I didn't happen to notice that when all the lights turned on while I was sleeping in the middle of the night, because you got it on in the middle of the night. So then I got to walk around half, zombified from sleep and walk around and turn off all the lights so I can actually go back to sleep. Because you forget which lights are on and which are off. I unplugged the computer every time because it was about 1.5 years ago when they did the power, because we lost power, 10 times last year. It's like a regular thing around this neighborhood. whatever infrastructure they've got, it's not very good. I'll just tell you that. So the power went out like a year and a half ago, whatever it was, and it like screwed up my computer. So I had to go get my computer fixed because it did it while Windows 10, another vicious, evil corporation getting into your, controlling your life again. It was updating at the time. So, you can't shut it down while it's updating, especially in an older computer, which I have. So that screwed it up. So they had to take all my memory out, put a new operating system in because it just wouldn't restart. It was like, nah, we're done. You disconnected while we were updating, and because you have an old computer, the hell with you. We just won't update anymore. I mean, Windows 10 itself is the devil. That's just my opinion. Not a fan of it. So you get that kind of thing. And then you try to call them and try to talk to somebody. And when you do get through to a person after whatever wait time there is, they don't want to help you on this. And, you guys blew up my computer. Sorry, sir. Just the hazards of things, act of God kind of thing, something out of their control. Okay. I mean, the time that in the ice storm, just what was that, a month ago? A little over a month ago, end of April. So it was a month ago, not even. The top of the pole ripped off. Just ripped off because the pole was so old. Even though I'd called them 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 5 years ago, telling them their poles are really old and they're tilted and they're not looking very good and they should probably update their poles in our neighborhood. Well, it finally came to where we had an ice storm in the end of April. Unbelievably, if you think about that. We've only been out of winter for about a month and we're almost into summer. There's like no spring anymore here in Michigan. The winter extends, and we know why it was a long winter. We talked about it about 3 years ago that the sun's activity is changing, and it's going to cause us to have a mini cold spell, maybe even get to an ice age. And I hope we don't go to that far. But when you start getting ice storms in April, at the end of April, that is, when it should be 65, 70 degrees, you might start thinking that maybe the climate is heading the way you were hoping it wasn't going to head to. And some of the scientists might have actually gotten it right. Not the ones that are all into climate change and global warming and all that, but the scientists that told you that, well, the sun's activity is changing over the next few years, and they told us about 3 years ago. Not many people listened. And when I told people we might head toward a mini cold spell, if not an ice age, they poo-pooed it. Nah, didn't, nah. But so those people got it right. Because it was long winter. We had early snow. It was cold right from the get-go. Again, we're not having these fall changes like Michigan used to have. Of course, we could probably blame that on some of the geoengineering that is taking place here and there and all over the place. They don't want to admit it, but it's there. I just watched a video, it was 2-3 weeks ago, of this cloud machine NASA has, and it just spews out all this cloud from the ground, and then that cloud floats up high, and they just created a cloud out of nowhere. And so the fact that the pole, getting back to the DTE situation, the pole breaks, we were out of power here, which screwed up a whole lot of things. And we're at the mercy of these stupid corporations that don't have solid infrastructure in. Yet they want to charge you, it's so expensive to run a house these days. Then, of course, we've got the construction. Can't go east-west in this area anymore. I mean, there's like 5 major roads that connects this side of town with down by the river in the Wyandotte area of Michigan. There's a little river there, Detroit River, and you can go down to Bishop Park and enjoy yourself, but you can't get down there because, eureka, there's construction. North Line, there's construction. I-75, construction. Goddard, there's construction. You can't go from the west side of the town, like, Romulus and Taylor and Southgate, without driving through construction just to get to Wyandotte. Small little old school town that has a beautiful little park, nice shops and everything. It's like the Downriver version of Royal Oak. So if you're a visitor and you've heard of Royal Oak and you want to come to the Detroit area and you don't want to go down to the expensive part of town, which is Royal Oak and all those areas, you can come down to Downriver to Wyandotte where you can enjoy, well, if you can get there. But it's a nice little homey old school town with a lot of nice little shops, beautiful park. Cool. A couple cool bars down there. Hey, there's a hospital right down there. Can't get to the hospital if there's an emergency because you can't go from the west side of town to the east side of town. I mean, everything's in shambles, and sure, they're trying to fix it, but they waited too long. I mean, this is awesome. They're paving right down by City Hall in my city here, putting in new asphalt and getting everything set up, and they use a good company. They use a good, well-renowned company to do the asphalt. I used to work in the road construction industry. Just a very short time, but I did work with good companies and the crappy companies. And they finally got one. When they did the front of my drive here, when they did my street right in front of me, they used the crappiest of all crap companies they could get. But when they're doing right in front of City Hall, heck, let's go ahead and use one of the two biggest companies in the area, the one that are trusted. They're going to do it right. And of course, when they do right up here, right in front of John's place, we're going to use the crappiest of crap companies. And now the road, 2 years in, the road's got a huge crack right down the middle of it. Yep. Right in front of my house on top of it, the driveway that they didn't put in, but when I complained they came in and half-assed put in, is now crumbling and decaying within 2 years. We've got to get ready for a break here, ladies and gentlemen. As you've noticed, we've changed up our programming, how we're going to commercial breaks and stuff, and how we're coming in. And we'll probably talk about that as the night goes on. This is the John Lebang Show Variety Hour, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere now.
John will be right back right after this.
Yes, he will. Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-'70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled, and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now.
You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Join the radio revolution right here.
It's better than some good Thai stick, man. Yes, I would like some too. Is it on yet? Oh, we're about ready to turn it on. Leroy, put the TV on right now. Okay, Uncle Shady. Oh, I can't wait. Ditsie's there tonight. That doesn't mean she's going to be picked to be on. Oh, I hope she is. All right, keep it down now and stop.
Here it comes from the Banger Studios in Detroit, Michigan. It's the Big League Game Show. The Donald is right. Ditzy Snooper, come on down. Gordy Canuck, come on down. Illegal Martinez, come on down.
your tonight's contestants on the Down With This Ride.